Hello, welcome to our Threads of Success podcast, where we are starting to engage with accomplished slow fashion entrepreneurs like yourself and some thought leaders from the industry, shedding some light on their journey and their current and prospective digital transformative efforts to drive their business for higher efficiency and growth. So today, I have with me Dhanya Sugathan, the founder of the brand Artizenery, emerging from the vibrant tapestry of India's rich craft heritage. He takes pride in curating small batch artisanal and artisan crafted goods tailored through partnerships with artisans, NGOs, and micro entrepreneurs. So that's a brief intro, but I'd like to understand from you a bit. Just tell me about your business a little bit and how it originated, how it started.
Thanks, Amit, for a warm welcome and introduction. I'm a designer, and after I finished my design course at NIFT, I went on to work with the industry. So I worked with an export house for 4 years, followed by 4 years of sourcing for Tesco for the international business. And that has been followed by another entrepreneurship stint, which is a buying house where we source apparel and home textiles for brands and retailers internationally. And we ship to Canada, Australia, South Africa, UK, and we've been working across product categories from baby to men's to ladies to home textiles. And Artizenery was born out of my passion for working with crafts and creating beautiful products for a contemporary customer and contemporary inspired living. So in a way, it's going away from the mass production industry that I've been working with and trying to chart a different route of showcasing to the world what India's heart is actually capable of. We have like a 5,000-year-old tradition of crafts from India.
Yeah.
And it's sad when you see, a lot of it being digitally printed and people not even knowing that it's actually a craft. They just think that it's just a motif maybe. Popular things like ikat, people think is a print. I guess coming from the background and knowing that's not what it is, and that it's a real product and the real makers. So I wanted to see how do we, create that connection where our products are relevant and well designed so that they inspire the current consumer to take it on as a product that they would love to use in their daily lives and be inspired by it.
Okay, lovely. So, so one point you said that there are so many copies that have come. It's very difficult to kind of differentiate between the authentic and the non-authentic product. So, and you work with export market and the international kind of buyers. How do you convey the message of how authentic this product is, and like from your experience probably for this brand or your previous stint, how did you kind of convey the message of what we are doing, how is it different, and how did you kind of capture those customers or clients by explaining this side of the story?
One was, of course, sharing the stories of the makers and the products, and again showing them the products and working with them in terms of there were some trials which we had done. I done for the export orders. Also, I done handmade products. So we did like photo shoots for them from when the khadi was spun to the weaving to the block printing process that we did. So everything was documented. We helped them even with communication with their end customers for their online and for the in-store campaigns. So it was important even for the customer to see the whole process. And I think that's what's important. The end customer also needs to see that there's a person, and there's so many steps involved, and there's so many human hands involved in making of the product.
Yeah, true that. And I think to talk about your current brand, what I understand and know a little bit about, you're taking a long time to kind of create a product catalog that's ideal for the for the international market, that they'll find something very unique. What was your strategy when you started this brand? That how would you launch it, and how would you kind of start going to the first customers or the customer base that you're looking for? What was the initial strategy to kind of launch?
Actually, if you ask me, this brand, I've taken quite a long time. It's been in works for 10 years now, but actively involved in it post the COVID. I guess all of us went through that reflection period to think like what was really important, and what you've been wanting to do for a long time. And what I was wanting to do was inspire the world. So it was important for me that the product is not just reflects the craft, but also inspires the person to take it as part of their everyday life. For which one, you had to understand the modern customer. They want to look good, yes. They also want the product to be convenient. So it has to be comfortable. It has to perform, maybe go through a washing machine cycle. So all those parameters, and sustainability is important. So the products were built with sustainability at its heart. Great fits, comfort in terms of your wear. And design that inspires.
Lovely. Okay, so I'll just change the context a little bit and talk about more about what is assisting you through the different process of your businesses. So let's talk about like the sales channels that you're deciding to kind of market your customers. So I believe that you do a lot of trade fairs and export events, right? That's one of your major channels. What are the channels, and how do you kind of prioritize that to reach out to your customers?
Artizenery as a label is a new business for me. So I'm exploring the different sales channels, and coming from the background that I am from, for me, wholesale was automatically the go-to way of going about it. Hence, trade fairs, because I believe that human interaction and face-to-face connection is the best. So, of course, other than trade fairs, referrals and word of mouth. And again, embracing the current path of being, socially present. So we are working on our Instagram and promoting through Insta, YouTube, and LinkedIn as platforms. So that's again what we are working towards, because it's important to be able to not just connect with your channel partners, but with the end customer. So I believe that social media will help us connect and share our stories with the end customer.
I will come to social media, but before that, like, have you explored like marketplaces? Like, for example, there's a marketplace called fair.com, which helps to kind of promote this artisanal craft, or some other marketplaces which is for wholesale to reach out.
So I have been in talks with, of course, Fair, and Jure is another marketplace.
Zoor is another marketplace.
So I'm just trying to see like where are the customers that we are looking for, being a luxury contemporary designer women's wear brand. So which is the most suitable position for us, and which marketplace would enable that? We are also simultaneously looking at building a platform on our website also, using certain tools for wholesaling.
So Can you elaborate like what kind of tools and helping you kind of for wholesaling for your own platform?
So one, we're looking at digital showrooms,
Lovely.
and
Yeah. Mhm.
again, these are SaaS platforms. So it's
Yeah. Mhm.
in terms of, as we're a growing brand, right? So we don't want to invest. Technology is expensive.
Yeah.
So we want to
Definitely.
try it first. So we want to
Definitely.
trial different things and see
Yeah.
uh, what works. So a lot of the platforms like Jure, Fair, and all are international platforms, so they are expensive. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we're trying to see what else to make it easy for the customer to be able to see what we do,
Mhm.
and again see how we can integrate it with the different platforms. So we're seeing like, first, most of the recommendation has been to Shopify to integrate across platforms.
Mhm.
So, of course, being in Bangalore, other than the design part, you're surrounded by software people, including the rest of my family, uh,
Okay. Then you have a very close connect with that
which
part
helps.
of it. Yeah. 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 Definitely. Definitely. You can use that
So,
to drive
in,
always.
yeah, technology is definitely important, and I think
Mhm.
as a brand, we want to embrace technology
Yeah.
and use as much tools as possible to help us both in the back end and also make it easier for our audience to interact with us.
Definitely. And you talked about social media. So one thing is that because we're doing wholesale and they're like B2B buyers, do you think that there's enough traction that you find through social media and presence? Because from B2C, it's easy, but when you target a business, it's sometimes
Yes,
cannot be the ideal kind of platform to market, apart
true.
from LinkedIn, probably. Yeah.
So there are two things here. One is connecting with your B2B customer, and the next one is your B2B customer also expects you to interact with your B2C customer
Yeah.
uh, and be able to promote your brand, because they're a medium, but it's your duty to promote your brand.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
so I
So
believe
you
that's
mean that
important.
you target the end consumers as well, just to promote their brand?
Yeah, for the end consumer to see like what exactly inspires us, who we are, what's our process, how we go about it, what differentiates us. And I
Mhm.
think it's we want everybody to be part of the journey. That's what makes it
Mhm.
exciting.
Okay.
Uh, it's being handcrafted is slow, but it's also
Yeah.
consciously slow, right? Uh, so people enjoy being part of the journey.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. And have you explored, like, apart from Instagram, like Pinterest and few other platforms that might give you some other reach? Because the fashion world, people are active in multiple platforms. Yeah. Like, what's your
Yes.
experience in that? Yeah.
Um, I would say we're just going step by step.
Yeah.
Of course, YouTube as a format is it's a long video format, but it's
Hmm.
more popular. And of course, on the other side, there's TikTok, which in India is not available directly, but for the end consumer, that's a growing
Yeah.
space. So short format videos. So we're
Yeah.
just trying to see how do we, what is relevant and
Hmm.
how do we do it consistently, communicate consistently across the platforms.
Yeah.
Think it's a long way to go.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's
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 a
difficult
start.
from a the omni-channel approach. You have taken everything, so it will be difficult to kind of do in depth in everything. But yeah, one step at a time. Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so let's switch gear to say more to understand your operations and like sourcing side of it, because I believe that you are working with the like remote crafts of India in different parts of India, NGOs and small artisans. So how do you kind of find these artisans, and how do you have just normal connect, or is there a process that you uh, take to kind of find these artisans and work with them?
Uh, Sourcing has been my background and a
Okay.
strength,
Okay.
and I've applied my learnings across my career of sourcing to
Okay.
go about this.
Okay.
And when it comes to sourcing, I believe it's about your relationships with your supplier and the relationships that you build towards the long term.
Mm-hmm.
And being in India, that's a strength that I have, is I can go down, visit my suppliers. I always believe in, it's like you have to see it, you have to feel it, you have to work along with, understand what works, what doesn't work, what are the challenges, and what are the strengths.
Yeah.
And that's what has worked for me. So again, yeah, working. So we did do like a comprehensive study of which artisan vendors would work with, and try to connect with them, then visited them, and we did go about it systematically in terms of seeing which clusters in which states are already at a much higher level of quality and can work with us in terms of design and product development, can deliver to international standards in terms of product performance. So there are some base rules which were initially set. And again, of course, to do it right by the whole craft ecosystem also. So I worked with a few actively involved, experts from that industry. And I do understand this. It's again, it's the human connection, It's like everybody wants to work. It's like how a designer interacts with the craft ecosystem, and it's like one ecosystem, we're all part of it, and understanding. And it was very important to get in and understand, because one key takeaway was, it's not one person when it comes to the craft industry, it's a whole ecosystem. So how do you, when you're working with that, how do you not take away the ecosystem, but find ways so that the whole ecosystem is part of it. So you don't just take away parts of the craft, but try to see like how do you
support the whole ecosystem to kind of thrive. I understand. Keeping a relations once your that new craft that you start working, and keep relation with suppliers, that's definitely important. Would you mind like sharing a little bit about, like, because India has so many crafts and it's nooks and corners of India, how do you kind of find the remotest part of like northeast of India? There's so many crafts that probably is difficult to kind of even there are some parts like Jaipur, you can say, like some parts which is very renowned, and they are very people, it's easy to find in the sense it's there out there, but there's some crafts which are difficult to find. There is talented craftsmen are there. So is there a way you suggest that is the best way? There's something probably some tools, or just searching on Google, I'm not sure if you'll be able to find it. So what kind of helps you? Is it through the relation that you kind of keep on finding new crafts? So what kind of drives you and helps you?
Personally, what has helped me, of course, I'm also at the start, so I wouldn't say that I have all over the place. But yes, so like I said, I did work with stronger clusters, and which was maybe it was geographically spread out also, but then I did go for more concentrated places, which was easy for me. But in terms of how I went about it is, of course, you come from a background of a design school. So you already have the whole connections. For example, NIFT works with the industry. And again, NID works with the industry. So the whole teams, we are able to connect with each other and, find the clusters that they work with. Other than that, there's, of course, a handloom and handicraft development board. Then there's Weavers Service Center. So all these places, I think, I would say, has so much information to share. It's a lot. It's again, you take it and then, you go with what works best for you. But I believe you want to connect, there's a lot of ways you can connect.
I understand. There is an base ecosystem that's out there, which helps you
Yes.
to connect with the crafts. And yeah, India has been supporting these crafts for a long time. It's just you have
Yeah.
to connect to the right people. Okay, moving on. Just you know, how do you like? I'm not sure. So there's so many vendors that you're working with. Is there a way that you manage your team and the vendors to coordinate the sourcing and the whole process? Is there something based on your current or previous experience that you recommend uh, that
Uh,
helps?
yes. One, we always trial, because you need to see, unless you go through a whole process of working with them, either
Yeah,
fabric development or almost like one season,
yeah.
to see it works. Because talking is one thing, doing
Hmm.
walking the talk is next. So
Yeah,
we want
yeah,
partners who will walk the talk with us,
yeah.
and
Okay.
that comes through continuous interaction, seeing how the response is,
Hmm.
seeing how the commitment levels are.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
ultimately, you need to deliver. You want people who work with you to deliver, and there
Yeah,
has to be a commitment to quality. There has to be a commitment to delivery.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
And these are quite, I believe it's, what do you say? It's part of the inner system of the person you work with.
mm, yeah. So
And you
it's
find that only when you work with them.
mainly again key maintaining that establishing the relation
Yes.
initially by through traveling and sampling. Yeah,
Relationship, and you also want to find out that that person that you are, they are also committed to the relationship.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
not, for me, it's not a one-time affair.
mm,
It's like a long-term relationship that you're looking for.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a both sided
You
commitment.
want the other person also to understand that it's not a one-time, and how do you work together?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And let's talk about a little bit about design process because crafts. Once you find out, then you'll have to kind of the traditional craft you're transforming into something for the urban life, right? So that's like contemporary and modernism that come into play. So how do you kind of plan your designing process? Is there anything that you use in the sense your team uh, to facilitate the whole process?
Yes. So we have created a design process where we say uh, we looked at what it is uh, in a regular industry, right?
Hmm.
You are first, you drive your design, and then you get the maker to make it. Here
Hmm.
we're trying to interact with the maker, see what is available, see what is the ecosystem, and try to see that we're able to accommodate that whole ecosystem. We're able to also design in a way that it's easy for the maker and also inspires them to do it. Uh,
Okay.
and again, if possible, we use what is there. So it's not like necessarily that everything has to be created from scratch. How do we maybe take an old antique block and use it differently?
Hmm.
Just the color combinations, how do we work on it differently? It's not necessary for us to reinvent everything from scratch.
Yeah.
And again, involve in a dialogue process.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
And what are the like, for example, there's so many, probably you would have a much more experience in this. What are the tools that you use for designing purpose, like the Illustrator, Photoshop, and now so many 3D modeling is coming up. So I don't know. So there's a change happening in that front as well. So are you like
yes.
embracing new technology or what
Um,
is your comfort zone?
in terms of design, of course, our designers, we're used to working on Corel Draw, then we do use Illustrator. And kind of when you're from the old school, you start with sketching,
Yeah.
and that I feel connects you to your brain in a different manner. But
Okay.
technology definitely makes life much easier after that.
Yeah.
Look at different color combinations, uh, and to reduce the speed. To increase the speed, to reduce the time frames
Yeah.
of working, and also to visualize it differently. Yes, Other than that, we've also been using Canva because it's much faster to use and trial. So for making portfolios and for making templates. So Canva's really been good. I mean, I come from an era where I taught myself Illustrator from a book called Dummy for Illustrator for Dummies. So Canva didn't need anything of that sort. It was much faster. So I see that technology is making it much easier, right? And again, Chat GPT, of course.
That helps in the design as well.
Writing. So
writing.
In terms of there's a lot of writing also which goes with the product. So how do you
create the story
around
the design?
And we're also exploring other software, textile softwares, but it's still in exploration stage. To make it easier for us to transfer our designs for textile making, we just working on.
Okay, and this is something I just wanted to kind of intrigue to kind of understand. So from you as a designer perspective, so there's an tech adoption coming in terms of right now 3D modeling of fabrics and garments, and now you probably have seen that on spot 3D kind of garment creation, right, through that have been viral in the story. And there's a 3D there's a dress which kind of changes kind of based on your mood or movement, and there's all this coming up nowadays. What do you think about, like, is that going to be the or it will take time? Is it going to be change in consumer behavior of incorporating those kind of techs in this fashion?
I mean, personally, I'm not sure about the changing as per mood or changing color, motif, or lights in your garment kind of a thing. I think that's
too much.
Is a bit more like a toy. But I do believe that tools of 3D pattern making, visualizing does help reduce wastage and help speed up the process. For example, if I do a fit, I may do it on a particular one size, and it takes a longer time for you to do it. So, but when you're able to do it on 3D, you can try the same styling across different body types, try to arrive at something which works across body types. So your visualizing becomes easier, and I do believe that visualizing, not everybody can visualize the same way. So what I visualize and I try to communicate may be different. So this would help us all visualize better and communicate better. And recently I was saying this app in a store which is introduced. It's augmented reality also is coming in, right? So it will become like somebody can try on the garments also. So it's not just so they can see which looks better. You can give recommendations as to what will look good based on the person's body type and what garments will fit in the store for them based on what they want.
That's happening in offline shopping experience. That's augmented reality is getting embraced.
Technology is going to make things different, and we all have to embrace it. And I think it's good also. I mean, the factories that I work with initially, maybe 10 years back, most of them the pattern makers used to make manual patterns. Now all of them make patterns on the system. So it's a change, and it helps because you can communicate with your customers worldwide much more easily.
Okay.
And with 3D fitting, I think maybe couriers will drop, and you can finish your fits also much faster.
Definitely. I mean, that's something probably in the next decade it will unveil how it plays out. So moving on, just to kind of, before we go to the rapid fire a little bit in this last
fire,
this is a rapid fire. It's not a rapid fire, you can share, take your time, but I'll just one last kind of question based on the whole business process. The last bit is the logistics, in the sense, if you see the India as a country is evolving the kind of logistics. If you want to kind of earlier, working with the remotest part of India is difficult. In the sense, it's a nightmare. Right now, it's pretty easy. So, for your experience, even for international, is there something you find very easy, or to work with different logistic partners to connect to your consumer clients? How do you kind of manage that? Is there any hindrance that you face?
Logistics is an important part of your supply chain, especially if you work with the international market. And I believe not to compromise there, to work with the best available partners.
Yeah.
So although there are new people who come in, I would test them first, see it works, check the standard of delivery, the tracking, and if it actually happens like what they say. But otherwise, as our logistic partners, we have tied up with some of the top brands, international logistics suppliers,
like DHL and FedEx, right? Yeah.
And Maersk for air shipments, kind of thing. But again, think you don't want to take a risk.
Yeah. How do you find it work with new suppliers? Usually it's kind of a monopoly of this place only, which is more reliable, right?
So with new players also, you trial, do a trial shipment and see.
Okay.
And ultimately, see, there are few things which are monopoly. Like, for example, if you take a YKK zipper, you may say is a monopoly. I'm saying the garment industry for me. The coat thread may be a monopoly. But again, I would look at it as a standard which they have reached.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Lovely. I think last bit I have this rapid fire, which you can take your time and share your comment. But I'll just start. There are like 6 or 7 questions there. So, starting with, can you tell me one tool or one resource that had the most significant impact on your business? Probably this means earlier business so far in your career. Yeah.
It's a very small tool, but I think moving to Google Suite really helped. Okay. So earlier, our emails, we used to use Outlook although it was very convenient for people, loved using Outlook because it would download, but it was taking a lot of system space. And then we had a lot of complaints about people saying they were missing emails and things like that. So we moved to Google Suite, and it's been convenient because you wherever you are, you can access your emails. We have common docs across, so even our daily reporting, everything is shared docs. You can share your files very easily. So it's a very simple tool, but it really helped make it easy for small teams.
Definitely, I can get it. So just on that note, from an email perspective, from Gmail now there's another tool called Superhuman, which is becoming very famous within certain kind of sector, but it is expensive. But the email, they are changing, they're transforming. And another, from a productivity tool, we use Notion. It's definitely very good for collaborating with your teams and everything. You find everything at one place.
You said Notion.
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 Notion. It's becoming very famous.
Notion notes and things like that, right?
Notion is a tool. It has everything. You'll find, you don't have to use the Google tools anymore, apart from the email. But it has worked for us. But
you also tried using Trello for kind of collaborative work.
So Trello is there, but I think from Trello you'll find everything at one place. Trello is a project management.
Definitely try it.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'll give recommendation. This is one of the best tools for me.
That's great.
Yeah. And moving on, what one area in your business do you feel that you need to kind of urgently do some digital transformation that's kind of lacking through the manual process?
I was talking to you about online digital showrooms, right? So that's something which I think is important.
Yeah.
So storing our data digitally and again being able to share our data. When I'm saying data, it's not just, it could be the designs, it could be make it easy for the internal teams also to access all the work that we have done in the past, and um, again, share digital catalogs, make it easy to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I think, digitizing
So
what we have.
is it digital showroom for the clients or is for the teams or both?
So digital showroom for the clients,
Okay.
and again keeping records of what we did for our internal team. So be it design development and all, that's easy to pull it up.
Okay.
We do make a lot of styles and samples.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to keep that digitally so that it's that's hopefully through the website that you're launching will solve that issue.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And moving on, are there any innovative products or concepts? We have talked about few today, but in the current fashion landscape that excite you in the sense that's happening and you're exciting?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did speak about 3D modeling and 3D fitting and visualization, right?
Yeah.
So there's Clo, which has come to Bangalore. It's a Korean company.
Okay. Is Clo 3D or is that's a software? Is Clo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they do, help you with 3D fitting and to create avatars, and
Yeah.
so it's very interesting what they're doing.
Okay. They've come to Bangalore means I like they have
So they've opened a Bangalore office. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And they're trying to promote that.
Clo 3D. Yeah. We use that as well. It's Bangalore has a the tech hub now becoming another tech hub.
Advantage.
Yeah.
And I think even Swatchon is there now.
Yeah. There's also a Korean company. Yeah.
So I think it's very interesting what's happening in that space, and for an what do you say, for an industry which has been there for so long to pick up and change the way it works, and if it can help reduce wasted time and money, instead give time for production, that would help.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, wherever you can optimize and like,
because we end up wasting a lot of pre-production time and then try to squish the production time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that happens. That's one of the hurdles. Definitely. Is there any particular fashion startup or business that you admire or look up to?
There are a lot of startups. So when you say you particularly are looking at startups as such, or
any business, a fashion business or within the slow fashion industry or any fashion industry per se. It can be a business or startup or a company.
Yes, there are a lot of companies I admire.
Okay.
Like and again, I tend to admire women-run businesses and how the businesses have been giving back to the community.
Yeah.
So I would say Eileen Fisher. So these are US-based brands: Eileen Fisher, Tory Burch, Sarah Blakely. And it's just the whole looking at the business in a holistic manner and giving back to the communities. And I also admire how Everlane came up with this whole radical transparency concept.
Okay.
And how they established themselves completely digitally.
Okay.
And how they were able to disrupt the way the consumer thought and what inspired the consumer.
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, that's very good examples. Yeah, definitely, I'll look through them. And so I think you've talked about the businesses, but is there any individuals or entrepreneurs that serves as an inspiration for you? Do you look up to someone? It can be from fashion or anywhere. So
I'm grateful to be connected to, a very good, inspiring network of people who have been around me, my friends, uh, and a lot of them are successful entrepreneurs, and they do believe in not just the business but the whole life itself, uh,
Okay.
in terms
Yeah.
of balancing and creating beautiful life, beautiful relationship, and a beautiful business. And
Okay.
most of them have been of the opinion that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So they have a good circle of friends
yes.
to look up to. That's nice to hear. Last rapid fire is: could you provide one valuable networking tip for navigating through this slow fashion community? How to kind of be in touch with the community of the slow fashion kind of enthusiasts and businesses, entrepreneurs. One tip that you will recommend to others to do to kind of be in the community, part of the community, engage and actively kind of be there.
I think it's a human centric industry.
Hmm.
So work on the relationships and
Okay.
enjoy the process. Be there. It's just it's
Hmm.
not the destination, right? It's a lifestyle, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so it just be human centric.
Got it. Yeah. Like,
What to do?
yeah. So be like, understand everyone's emotion, kind of respect their, dignity that's
Yeah.
come into there. Yeah, definitely.
And, it's yes, in business relationship there is give and take,
Hmm.
but it's beyond that, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
How do you
definitely.
go beyond that?
Definitely. So that's kind of the end of only one last questions I have for you.
Sure.
Is that what is the future vision for your current business? Like, where do you see yourself in the next? How do you want to grow Artizenery? What do you see the brand to be in the next
I
5, 10 years? Yeah.
started with the vision of creating a global brand,
Okay.
a global brand which celebrates Indian craftsmanship.
Okay.
So my vision is to see artisanry recognized globally
Yeah.
and in the top department stores globally,
Okay. Okay.
and
And
something which inspires people.
yeah, creating a global brand, that's definitely
Yes.
something from India it should start happening, because yeah, it's very few global brands out there which is Indian originated. So that definitely yeah, not only like the top stores, I think hopefully we'll be creating artisanal stores across the world, so we'll be
Oh
seeing
yes.
soon in next 5, 10 years. Definitely that's we all support Indian artisan, Indian ecosystem to kind of thrive in the global world. So thank you so much, Dhanya, for spending your time and giving time on a Friday morning. uh, and I had a lot of learnings, and hopefully I will share once we kind of publish this. And this is a new initiative that we created to kind of stay connected and understand each other, kind of help each other in some way or form. And thank you so much for giving your time. And uh, I'd love to kind of we'll stay connected and we'll talk more.
I
Yeah,
just
please
also
jump
wanted
in.
to thank you for
Okay.
all the inputs that you gave, and again, it helps you, think differently also when
Yeah.
you interact and when you talk. It again embrace technology. It's
Yeah.
interesting how you're taking that as the journey that you're taking your podcast on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that something is not talked about a lot, especially about in this industry. There's some, I mean, we obviously have seen tech in everything, but yeah. So I think I personally kind of very driven. If you want to solve the problem of India's, like we are working for the the tier 2 or tier 3, tier 5 cities of villages of India, working with the artisans. technology for me will take a kind of a good approach and a better approach to kind of solve that issue. So that's where I come from, and probably everyone will kind of find that useful. So
Great.